Oh, light-headed.
I'll do a... Oh, yeah.
Put that on.
Cheers, mate. Can I put it there, do you reckon?
Testing. Yeah, looks like it's working.
Testing.
Yeah. Go on, say something. Yeah, it's working. Fine. This is an interesting location. Those that don't know who this is, by the way, this is Carmad Dad. Woohoo! Make sure you subscribe to his YouTube channel. CMD, and Dale is his real name, by the way.
Suda.
Dale and I filmed here literally a year ago on the 21st of April 2020. I went on YouTube and had a check. We filmed here, and you can watch the video, click up here to watch it if you want. We did a comparison between our M2 competitions. I had a stock exhaust M2 comp and he had a Remus back box. But we filmed here and we got an awesome Instagram shot, and we both had Long Beach Blue M2 comps, and it was quite nice. So it's very weird to see that just over a year later, we both have GT silver Porsches, both got steels, red calipers, grey alloys, but Dale's gone for the bigger boy, the 911 992 Carrera S, and I've gone for the GT4. It's just, we were saying when he was enjoying his KFC, that it's weird to think like you don't think like a year late, like, oh, this time next year I'm going to be driving this.
Yeah, it's just completely unthinkable.
Yeah.
And great minds think alike, don't they? As if we both went Long Beach Blue, and this time we've both gone GT Silver. Albeit this time, interestingly, we've gone for completely different models, but I think, interestingly, at very similar price points.
Yeah.
Because actually you could go, I mean, for the price, you're in either car.
Yeah. But they're different horses for courses.
Yeah, they're both incredibly different, but arguably very similar. Again, that's the Carrera S, so it's rear-wheel drive. GT4, 3-litre twin-turbo, 4-litre naturally aspirated, manual, PDK. So there's lots of differences between the two. Major differentiator for me, 4 seats.
Yes.
2 seats.
Arguably unusable at the back, those 2 seats.
Oh, completely. Children hate them.
You've got kids, haven't you?
Yeah,
so you can squeeze them in the back. Yeah.
It's the wife's got a Tesla, and you know, the conversation isn't can we go in the Porsche, it's can we go in the Tesla. They suffer it if they need to,
yeah.
But it's few and far between.
It's doable. So yeah. My dad test drove a Carrera 4S 992, and I tried to get in the back of it, and I couldn't get the seat back because my knees were in the way.
Yeah, it's not
great. For adults. No,
definitely not. And if they are in there, it's for 5 minutes, nothing else. So my kids are 11, 7, and they can go in there and tolerate it, but we'll have to move forward, and it's not for very long.
Yeah.
So it's more a big boot space, to be honest with you, than anything else. Not that you can access it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So hello and welcome to the video. Everybody go subscribe to Carmad Dad. I'll link his YouTube down below. But today we're going to be talking about, not about my car, but about Dale's brand new to him Carrera 2S. I said that right. Yeah, 992 variant. If you don't know your 911s, it's a 911 and then you have different generations, and this 992 is the latest generation. I love that he's gone for GT Silver. It's nice to be reminded of what GT Silver looks like clean. I mean, I'll show you mine at the moment. I haven't washed it in over a week. No, a month, sorry, in over 4 weeks. I mean, I've just cleaned some bird poo off with some water, but it's absolutely filthy at the moment, and Dale's is gleaming. I mean, what I can see on the camera, they look so good together, really, really nice. So we're just going to be focusing on this car today. Dale is probably going to do a video for his channel. We're going to touch on, I think he's going to touch on the differences between the two. I may reference in my video the differences between the two, but I want to mainly focus it on the 992 because it's never been on the channel. I've never had a 911 on the channel. And Dale has very kindly agreed to meet up today to let me film it. So, spec.
Okay, so 992 Carrera S GT Silver. Must have driver spec for me, so I spent 6 months looking for this. It's approved used at Porsche in Nottingham. Inside you can see the spec. I think it's what I would refer to as driver focus spec. So we've got front axle lift, sports chrono, PASM, so lowered suspension by 10mm, rear axle steering, sports exhaust, some nice Alcantara bits.
Lovely.
And that's about it in spec.
Yeah.
It's not riddled with really high spec because it's a Carrera S as well. For those of you who know Porsche, you tend not to go too wild on spec, and because you're heading into GTS territory. But for me, it had to be driver focused spec, and those were my sort of must-haves. Only thing it's missing, in my opinion, is a sunroof.
Yes.
If it had the sunroof, that would have been it. You know, I mean, it was it anyway. It's the closest I've come to finding that sort of kit on a Carrera S for that exact reason. People don't spec them too high because you're into the next price bracket, or 4S, which a lot of people prefer. For me personally, I've driven a 2S and a 4S on track. A 4S, quite simply, adds weight, and the 2S is so capable anyway. It does a really good impression of a four-wheel drive car. I mean, the rears on these are 305s. They are
big boys,
big slabs. Yeah, so you don't struggle for traction.
It's Goodyear tyres.
Yep. So as they came, they've probably got about another 3-4 months on them, and then they'll be heading to Michelin.
Yeah.
So I've got some Michelins priced up and in waiting. That being said, I've been really impressed with the Goodyears. Yeah. So I'm I had 4Ss on the M2 before, but if they said, look, we can't get the Michelins, these have been really, really good.
Yeah.
Been really, really impressed. I'd go here before I went to P0s.
Fair enough. So comfort. So okay. I said I wouldn't touch on the differences between the two, but I will just say this. And whilst Dale was enjoying his KFC about 10 minutes before this video,
Look, I was hungry.
He was asking me, how am I getting on with the GT4? And I said to him that this is the first car that's made me consider a daily, because you can daily it, it can be done, but it's so stiff and loud that it makes it a little bit unenjoyable to daily. And something like a 992 Carrera would actually be, I would consider chopping one in for a Carrera, because you can daily that more but still have that Porsche enjoyability.
Absolutely, it does a really good impression, if you want it to, of like a boring Audi down the motorway. And I forgot to mention, if you look inside, there's 18-way adjustable seats. So from a comfort perspective, if you look at the adjustment buttons on the bottom, there is quite literally everything.
Yeah.
So you can sit there in normal mode, thanks to Sports Chrono, and enjoy sort of relatively quiet driving. It's obviously a sports car. You know, you expect a level of ride that comes with a level of capability, and the rear arches, I don't think are as insulated as a lot of people expect. You hear that a lot when people talk about the car, and I get it, it's a little bit loud, but not in comparison to a GT4.
Yeah.
So I think, but again, for me personally, I don't mind that. To me, it's a sports car.
Yeah,
really important point. It's not a supercar. I think it's a sports car, and I didn't buy it for super quiet. I'd have gone for a BMW 3 Series, if I wanted just a motorway cruiser.
Yeah.
So I think it's because it's so good at doing everything else though on a daily basis, people go, it could be a bit quieter.
Yeah.
But the reality is, because of all the engine silencers, I think they've kept a bit of sort of insulation out of there to help boost the sound maybe.
Yeah. It's the perfect all-rounder. It can do everything. It has the elements of the Porsche driving experience, but then it can also be a great daily. So
a great way to find out about how good it would be is if you took it for a drive.
Yeah, I was going to hop into that. Should we hop in and go for that?
Yeah, let's do that.
There we go, we're filming now.
You'll get some sort of drive-by footage.
Everything we just talked about just then.
Start again.
For my channel.
Yeah. For your video.
For my channel. As I was saying, this seat is a lot comfier. That's the first thing I've noticed since coming out of my GT4. It just has more cushion.
Yeah. See, I thought you'd say it was about the same.
No, it's also wider. Yeah. So the GT4, it'll be the same for the 991. It's the same comfort seat of that generation. The 991 or the GT4 seat, this shoulder part comes a lot lower. Yeah. So I have big lats because I go to the gym.
Sort of tank.
And it pushes, it doesn't sit on my shoulders, but the shoulder pads are a lot higher. I'm waffling now.
No, you're fine. So
it feels comfier.
So I think it's a super comfy place to sit. I think the position, as all Porsches are, is just sort of spot on.
Perfect.
Optional Alcantara wheel, nice and thin. Really good. Things I don't like about the interior: high gloss black.
easily scratched.
desperate to get scratched. They've taken away the second or the first cup holder, so you get a cup holder here,
And the second one's here.
and the second one's here, but this is dross.
Yeah, not bad because you've got a PDK.
Get away with it because it's not a
manual.
PDK, but obviously your armrest's here, and sort of if you want to press any buttons, it's in the way. There's actually nowhere to really place your phone. It goes in the glove box really well, but I find if it's in the glove box, my signal's bad. I use this as a daily. Poor signal when I'm on the phone all the time. It's annoying, so I tend to sort of bang my phone in the cup holder and use the passengers.
I sometimes use the left one as well,
Yeah.
and then my passenger, I'm like, I'm sorry, excuse me,
Yeah,
let me just lean
just-
over and get a drink.
Just lean over and do your stuff. Other annoying thing, 5 dials, very traditional Porsche. Obviously all programmable. So if you boot the engine up, you'll see sort of all of the stuff that comes with that. So foot on the brake.
Ooh,
Give it the
look at
jazz.
that. Steering wheel moved down for me.
Yeah, you'll all lighten up.
Look at that.
So it'll sort of say you're here, welcome, and then if you toggle the right-hand side,
Yeah.
that's your sports chrono, sorry, but if you toggle that's it with your thumb, then that will, once it's stopped saying hello to you,
Hello, Dale.
yeah. Oh, if you go back to
Go
Dale
back.
again, there you go. So then you can sort of toggle through,
Oh, nice.
sort of nav.
That's like 4K
Yeah, honestly, mate, it's so.
versus the GT4, which must be what, like 720p.
Yeah, so if you flick through, you've got obviously chrono, general information.
Yes. It's all very Porsche because it
Yeah.
feels the same as mine, but you can tell it's just one step up.
That's
Look,
it,
it's
and then-
definitely like 4K or whatever this screen is.
Then your nav is sort of, I was in a Cayenne more recently and it's straight out of the Cayenne.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of this is very much sort of Taycan,
Yeah.
Panamera, sort of, and that's what you get is that additional sort
It's
of,
definitely a step up. And I can see why
luxury.
GT3 991 owners have upgraded to GT992 because of the...
it's interior.
Yeah.
I was test driving both, so my big sort of debate over, let's go for a spin, mate, let's go.
Yeah.
But my sort of big debate before I picked up this one, once I knew I was going 911, was, get the aircon on for you, was to whether to go for the previous gen,
Yeah.
991 or this. And I love the interior. I love the interior of your GT4. I really, really like it. But once you sit in one of these, it's like anything, you sort of almost can't go back.
Yeah.
It's such a leap on. I think the previous generations felt very developmental, and that is 911 anyway, isn't it? But this interior-wise just felt such a massive leap on that it sort of had to happen. And you do spend a lot of time sat in this place, don't you?
I am having to rewire my brain right now not to use my left foot. So
Yeah.
when I started the engine just then, I naturally put my left foot down
Yeah.
as if I had to put the clutch in.
You also don't have to swerve for the speed bump
Yes.
because you won't scrape. We have got front axle lift. I've only used that a few times. Generally, it won't scrape, so normal speed bump at the moment, and you'll generally find it will just do it as standard. But the other thing you'll notice at the moment, I mean, we're in normal mode, so sort of minimal noise. And it's sort of, you'll find the sort of throttle response is off.
It feels, the steering feels heavier.
So it's got rear axle steer.
Right.
So the other thing you've got to watch out for is your input will probably be quite different once you get going in comparison to how you drive the Cayman.
Okay. The brake feels a lot softer.
Okay.
The throttle, like the button,
Yeah.
feels like there's more to press.
Yeah.
Oh, I like this. I can see why people buy these.
Yeah. Let's see how you go.
I mean, it's warm, so...
Yeah.
Oh, turbo.
So that's normal.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
if you use your sport chrono toggle it up to sport, and then you get a feel for
Sport is more for the road.
more for the road. Definitely, it's not the
Sport
track
plus
setting. All it does is sharpen response. It'll tighten up all the engine mounts,
Right.
and it'll just give you a bit of a different steering feel.
Yes, I mean, so just then I steered left and right to feel the stiffness.
Yeah.
And it just went way too far to the left.
If you blip it, obviously engine noise is louder, and that's the sport mode is the sort of loud exhaust mode. So
Yes.
actually, if you put it in Sport Plus, you lose a lot of the pops and bangs.
Right.
Sports Plus is very much business.
Yes.
It firms up the suspension, all sorts of other bits.
That's a lovely sound.
Mm.
I need to again rewire my, because I downshift. I don't know how this is mapped actually, but I downshifted all the way to 6,000, 7,000 revs,
Yes.
thinking it would be like naturally aspirated, and that's where the peak of the power is.
So again, it just depends what mode you're in. You can hit manual, okay, do it all, but if you go up again to Sports Plus, it'll be maximum attack all the time. But it's just effortless pace.
It's really easy.
Yeah, it's one of these cars that does a lot of the hard work for you.
It doesn't even feel like I'm pushing hard enough.
No. It's one of those cars that the harder you work it, the more comfortable it feels.
It feels like I'm going and going fast, but it doesn't even feel like it's going fast because it's so effortless.
So straight line, mate. Boots
Okay.
it. And it'll just go and go and go and go and go. Yeah, it won't let up. It'll just.
So comfortable.
And how stable is the steering wheel?
Yeah.
And you'll find that in your GT4 as well. But how easy is that? There's no drama about it, is there, like the M2?
It's
Like
really
this sort of-
comfortable.
Yeah.
You can daily this down the motorway. I like this.
So if I said to you, where's the noise coming from in the cabin?
Definitely the back.
Yeah.
But is it synthesized?
No, so I don't know if it's been pumped through the speakers. I just think I can hear road noise from the arches.
It's definitely coming from the back,
Yeah.
but I can't tell if it's fake or not.
So the other great thing with this car on spec is it's got the Bose speaker system. So I tend to sort of just drown that out with a bit of heavy bass.
Yeah.
or a deep audio book.
What I'll say is the steering feels so solid.
Yeah.
The whole thing feels solid. I mean, I'm in Sport Plus, so I go back to normal.
Yeah, you want to be in normal or sport. Normal's very relaxing.
Comfy.
Yeah, comfy.
It feels so comfortable.
And you notice immediately, I don't know about you, but you notice the difference in the suspension.
Yes.
So Sport Plus, even on a flat road, is very much a track suspension setting.
Yes.
You want to be on plush tarmac for Sport Plus to make any sense whatsoever. Here's a few pops and bangs as you popped into Sport. Yeah, so you'll hear a few pops and bangs on downshift.
Test the
Give it a bit of
Rear
stick
axle.
around there. Yeah, just give it a bit of stick around the roundabout.
Oh.
And again, mate, it'll go.
I don't want it to.
I know, yeah.
It really goes.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really goes.
Yeah.
But it's still so compliant.
Yeah.
And it's still so comfortable.
It's almost,
this.
if I had a criticism of it, I've owned it for a month now. Admittedly, I'm desperate to get it to track.
Yep.
And I have driven one on track, and that's really where they, ironically, it's not even a GT product, but they are just phenomenal
Still be
on track. So I'm desperate to do that, but if anything, it's almost, if I had a criticism, with everything on, it's almost too good.
Yeah.
It's so capable.
It's too easy.
And it is comfortably, genuinely, I've been really fortunate to drive lots of really fast cars. It's comfortably one of the quickest things I've ever driven, A to B.
I look down and I'm like, oh.
You just don't realise what
Yeah.
speed you're doing.
Yeah.
And that's the only word of warning I would give anyone with one of these is speed warning and keep an eye on it,
Yeah.
because you could very easily get arrested and lose your licence, and you are naturally travelling faster than you think you are.
I think
You know,
because of the
it's-
effortless and the comfortability of it,
It's just
it makes it almost less likely that you're not so aware that you're going so fast. So in the GT4, all the sound, because it's so rough, you become more aware that you're going fast.
yeah.
But with this, because it's so easy, you just don't realise how fast you're going, if any of that logic makes sense.
Yeah, it's just too easy.
Do one more.
So Sport Plus, harder suspension.
Those PDK shifts are fantastic as well.
Yeah, PDK is.
Well done, mate.
Yeah,
It's raining.
yeah, and it's raining.
But the grip on this will be
Oh.
fantastic anyway.
But again, I genuinely don't know personally why you would add the weight of a four-wheel drive system in the UK.
All few burbles, now I'm in sport.
It needs an exhaust. It needs an exhaust. Just it sounds good, but you could just.
Well done. Well done. It's a perfect replacement for the M2.
Oh, it's a great all-rounder.
It's got that Porsche gravy. It's just different gravy. It's got that Porsche DNA in it, but you can still daily drive it.
Yeah.
Which is what I really miss from the GT4.
Yeah.
The daily drivingness that my M2 used to give me.
Yeah.
This still has it.
Yes, you can.
So,
and I mean, my commute at the moment, I don't use this car for commuting all the time, but when I do, you know, it's 11 mile, but I'm 50 mile an hour single track roads, normally following, you know, a van or a lorry, or so you don't get to push it, and you do just have to sit in it in chill mode, and it does it.
This is fun.
It will do it.
There's no one behind me, so I'll do one more.
Go for it. I'll brace my neck.
Do I just put my foot down on the brake, right?
Really hard. Sport plus.
Okay. Sport plus, right?
Foot on the brake.
Ooh, light-headed. That's the speed limit. I got light-headed.
Yeah.
Oh, the blood rushed out of my head. Wow.
So 0 to 60 in this is, I mean, it's quoted at 3.4. There's guys who've tested these at 3 seconds flat.
Yeah, if you put Cup 2s on in a hot day, you'll be,
And genuinely, I've got a friend who's got a race box. I've timed it at 3.2 on worn Bridgestones. So it's more than capable. And it will do that launch control
every day, non-stop.
10 times out of 10, 100 times in a row. It will just bam, 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 bam. It is textbook Porsche.
Such a different character, but really, really good again. Well done, dude. I'm going to close the video here because I'm worried it's too long. But thank you for the video. Guys, go and watch Dale's video where you'll see us again, but he'll be driving my car. Make sure you subscribe to him as well. If you're new to the channel, please do subscribe, like it, comment, let me know what you think if you are looking at GT4 or Carrera. If you've got a GT4 and you're looking to swap to a Carrera, these are my thoughts. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later in the next video.